G'day guys, welcome back. Well, this is a bonsai area, and the reason we're out here is we're going to trim my big tree. Oh, hang on, wait a second here. G'day, Aussie bonsai bloke. Yeah, how you going? There we go. Now, the reason we're out here is we're going to trim the big tree. I just thought I'd show you a couple of bad things that have happened over winter. So I trimmed this one back. And she definitely didn't like being trimmed back in winter. Not a good idea. We've had some frost here, and that didn't help. And Laurie's Banksia is in serious trouble. I don't know. Maybe a huge frost, too much water. Although not sure how it got too much water, but anyway, because I haven't been watering it that much. But it doesn't look dried out. It's gone yellow from the outside. Anyway, so that's not great. Some things that are good is my very first ever bonsai. That's grown well. You can see the nice, beautiful green leaves coming out. Looking pretty healthy. That's the best part about spring is, you know, even if something doesn't look that healthy at the end of autumn, they come out in spring and it just looks fresh and beautiful. My little olive's still going all right there. This bottle brush here, struggling. Got bitten by the frost real bad. All the leaves fell off, got burnt off. And it's got a few little shoots, but even the new shoots have got burnt a bit, so because we've had another frost, so even the new shoots got burnt a bit, so that sucks. Yeah, what else bad happened? Oh, this olive, normally indestructible, got all new leaves coming out where it's alive, but we had massive dieback on this whole side of the trunk. It could end up creating some sort of interest in the future, but you know, we had huge dieback over this whole side, and it is actually reshooting, so I'm not sure what the heck happened there. If anyone knows anything about olives dropping everything, sometimes reshooting, but a lot of these branches died. This is the second time this one's done this to me. It's only this tree, so I don't know, something wrong with the roots maybe. And the other one, oh, here's a pomegranate starting to grow out. You can see all the new fresh leaves on that. Banksia starting to grow out. Anyway, this is the other bad one. So my planting on a rock, I'm not sure whether it got burnt or whatever in the frost, or maybe on some cool days I didn't water it. But if I cut it back, you can see it's still green everywhere. So I'm really hoping that one shoots. Otherwise, you know, that rock planting be all for nothing. And it looked pretty cool, so that one's pretty upsetting. But the main reason I brought you guys out here is the big olive that I haven't done a video on for a long time. I was going to do a video on me chopping it back. You can see that one's healthy. And I wasn't quite sure how I'm going to do it. So, look, we'll just have to bear with me while I set up, because we've got to create some sort of a background so you guys can see what I'm doing. So what I might do, I might get rid of this nice bottle brush here. This bottle brush here, maybe a bit more protected. Didn't have too bad a time. A few leaves have gone red, but it's not too bad, and it's starting to regrow. So we might put that one up here potentially for now. All right. And then maybe, because that thing's going to be bloody heavy. I don't know what it weighs, to be honest. I think two people, if you had boards under it, would still struggle. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. You know, I can barely drag that, let alone lift it. Ooh. I'd like to make some sort of a trolley with a lift someday that I can bring out here and slide it on and then lift it up to whatever level, take it in the shed, but so far hasn't happened. So what if I go like that? This tree might be in the way. I'm gonna have to move this tree. I might put it on the ground in case we get a gust of wind, because I don't want it to blow off and break Luke Parsons' beautiful pot. So maybe I'll do that. And then I might get this Aussie strap ready and we'll strap it around this board. Okay, so that doesn't blow away in the wind. We can get it to easily strap, which doesn't. The strap's too damn short. Oh well, see how we go. See what happens, mate. Yeah, strap's just a bit short. Well, that might be enough. All right, so I'm probably not going to be spinning the tree too much, although I think you guys will be looking at the back of the tree. Let's have a look. Yeah, you will. The front of the tree is the other side. So I'm going to have to spin it round. And I did push record, didn't I? Yeah, I did. And the other reason I thought I'd come out here is it's a damn nice, beautiful day. As far as no wind, I've just finished work. Come home, there's no wind. And I thought it would be great conditions for filming in. So when spinning them on your pallet, just watch out there's no big nails sticking out that's going to chip your pot. This pot cost me a lot of money and I don't want to wreck it. It's I think it might have been 600 bucks or something. Decent pot. Okay, now we are looking at the front. I'll move these little guys out of the way. So this is a bit of a behind the scenes setting up ready for a shoot. You can see it's not as simple as just pushing the record button. And unfortunately there'll still be a lot of background stuff in the way, but we'll just make do, eh? You'll get the gist of it. So here we go, beautiful old tree. Let's hope we can see most of it. All right, guys, I'll just sit next to it. This tree is probably, I had this tree within the first year of doing bonsai. I'll see if I don't think I'll be able to find a picture of it because it'll be on an old computer that the hard drive failed. Maybe there'd be a picture on the net somewhere. But this thing started off as a tiny trunk with a couple of shoots hanging out. And over the 16 years I've been working on it, it's turned into a beautiful tree. Definitely my best tree I own. And I've also got, also tested the sandpaper method on this one. So you can see this bark. I'll try and get you closer. Just got to be careful with all these cords that we don't unplug you from the sound, otherwise we'll go to the phone sound. So you can see all this old bark. Now, when I collected this and started working on it, there was no old bark on this tree at all, zero. And what's happened is over time, well, from using the sandpaper, it's turned all the bark Beautiful. Before, it was all smooth like the top of that branch, and then the bottom of the branch is rough. So rough on the bottom, if I can get in there, and smooth on top. So you can see the rough from the sandpaper and where I didn't sandpaper. Big difference. So if you want to create good rough bark on an olive fast, sandpaper, and it will take 2 or 3 years to grow in. So don't expect results instantly, but it definitely works and gives you old, mature looking bark, maybe 10 to 15 years early. If you waited, it could be 20 years before it gets bark like that. Yeah, you're probably only 3 years after, and even the first year, after the first year, you've already got a noticeable difference after the first year. Right, so today, I don't know if we're going to find enough moss to moss this. We'll see how we go. I would like to put some nice moss back on it. I gave it a bit of a weed yesterday because just doing a bit of maintenance around the place. But basically we're just going to come in here, and anywhere where there's a shoot coming out of the tree, when you got a final stage like this, you're literally just chopping it back to 1 node, maybe 2, depending on how close the nodes are. Because, you know, we don't want this tree to get much bigger than this, so we're trying to push it back hard all the time, so it doesn't have to have a big redesign in the near future. And yeah, we're just chopping it back to 1 node everywhere. I think the last video I might have done on this was damn near 3 years ago, and we did a defoliation in the shed. So if you want to check that one out, that was pretty cool. I did a time-lapse defoliation for something different. I'll still, if something's a bit too thick on the outside and there's nothing behind it, I might still come in and chop the whole thing off. So here, okay, we had these 2 shoots coming out on the outside, but we also could see the base of that shoot there. So I've now come in and chopped it, so it's going to divide back further, and you'll have 2 fine branches looking at you rather than a heavy stub. But it's all pretty simple really. Once you get a tree to this sort of finished stage, you're really only doing maintenance trimming, cutting back some of the really thick ones like this one. Same thing again, it divided, but you could see the base of the branch it divided from, so we've cut the whole thing off. But in most cases you'll find yourself just chopping it back to 1 node and just chopping off, you know, the extension from the last few months of growing. But yeah, it's a beautiful tree. I'd love to get this tree to the show for the October show at the Goodwood Community Centre if you want to go, 11th and 12th of October. I think 10 till 3, something like that. But I would love to get it to that show. I'm just not sure, 1, if they got a strong enough table, and 2, how I could move it from here into a trailer to take it there. Once it's there, I'd probably get plenty of help to lift it, although it's still risky. Probably have to make up some sort of a frame with some carry handles, but it's doable. It's a lot of effort and organisation, so we'll see how we go. But it would be cool to have it there. Just such a big, beautiful tree. Yeah, so I might put you guys on a time lapse because, you know, I don't want to bore you just trimming. I'll do a few more, but I don't really have a lot to talk about today, which is unusual for me. Just to make sure you pop along to the show, and I'll have some trees for sale. Probably 20 or 30, maybe 40 trees for sale of all different stages. So pop along and you might be able to buy one of my trees if you're going. And hopefully you get one of my trees. help me out, help the club out, and help yourself out. You'll have a tree. So that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna, where it's too thick, chop off the whole new growth. Where they're fine enough, chop it back to one node and leave it at that. And that's pretty much it for a refined tree. This is kind of like the final stages of a tree. You just trim it every year. Well, not every year, probably twice a year this gets trimmed. And you just trim it back to the outside silhouette of the tree. And once I've finished the hyperlapse, I'll show you a couple of things I still want to do to the tree. So I'll come back and show you that. I just want to, on here, I just want to see how we got this flat pad here, and it looks a bit weird. I kind of want to lift up that or pull one of these down just to make it look a bit more full like this side. So anyway, we'll sort it out. Probably pull one up, pull a couple up. But I don't want to pull them up to the point where they shade out, get shaded out back here and it gets even worse. So I might even pull one of these down and then maybe pull another one down and it'll fill in. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to hyperlapse and I hope you enjoy. Cheers, guys. Okay, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that hyperlapse. What I'm going to do is I am going to move that branch down. I got a bit of wire, but I forgot to get some rubber. Hang on, I'll just get some rubber to protect the tree because we don't want to take any shortcuts on a tree of this caliber. No shortcuts. Bear with me, be a good time to check out the range on this thing because, you know, I was a good 30 metres away just then. All right, I've got some tube, rubber tube. Simply just, you know, your fish tube, bubbler tube, whatever you want to call it. Works great for protecting branches. And all we want to do is put that over there, loop it around the one that you want to pull down. So in this case, it's this one here. So I'll just wrap it around there and then just, you know, do a little twitch there to hold it together. And then check the strength, make sure we got enough strength here. So I'll just feed this down and you can see if I pull on it, she's fine. So you can see that little subtle difference. Improves this area, gives it a little gap here, which actually creates a bit of interest. And I'll be pretty happy looking at it like that. So where did I put the other bit of tube? Oh, Sam, I drive myself insane. Where can I put it? Oh, it's fallen through the gap. Hang on. Oh, got it. Drive myself insane sometimes with my just losing stuff all the time, buddy. Right, so here we're just going to wrap it around with the tube And then we're gonna pull it down to where we want it, pull the wire through the tube until we've got our desired spot. Maybe a bit more. Yep, perfect. Wrap it to create that loop with the plastic covering it. I'll bring you guys up closer in a sec to show you, but you know, for now you get the gist. When I do a final look at the tree, I'll show you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm debating on trying to get this one to the show. It's going to be a lot of work to get it there, but I can do it. It's doable. I'll have to get someone or two people to help me carry it. I had a bit of a look around for moss, and I would literally use all the moss I can find on this tree right now. But we do have rain coming this week, because all the moss out in the paddock, I got plenty out there, but it dries up when it's been dry for a week. So that's dry at the moment, but if we get rain this week, I'll be able to collect it on the weekend, and then I'll give her a moss job, so she'll have fresh moss. But you'll just have to use your imagination that there's some beautiful moss on there. And yeah. Anyway, we'll give you guys a quick look at the tree, a bit of a closer look, and I'll show you where I put the wire. And yeah, I hope you agree that looks a little bit better like that. And now we've got everything trimmed back into shape. There will be a few spots where I have to come back and just carefully trim it up. It was quite the effort to trim it up today, because I had too many coffees today. So my hand was shaking around everywhere. Either that or I got Parkinson's, one of the two. Probably the Parkinson's is more likely to go with my dementia. So there you go. What a beautiful tree. Yeah, I love this tree. Had it for a long time now. 16 years, one of my first ever trees. Came from a stump. And then you can see this beautiful base, branches. And the bark now from the work I did with the, you know, sandpaper on the bark. So this is the back of the tree. So you can see the back of the tree has got a branch down here, whereas the front doesn't have one there. But the back of the tree is still equally as beautiful. All the branches snaking up there. You know, when you go in like that, it's like looking up through a real tree, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah, super happy with that tree and how it's turned out. I don't know, it's funny how some of your trees don't really turn into anything, and then others turn into such a beautiful tree. So looking from the bottom, you can see up into that tree. Bit of a funny branch up here. That was to fill in a hole, but anyway. In general, pretty damn good. Oh, the wire. You can see there. The wire wraps around like that. Just gets looped here. And same down here, gets looped back here. And that just, you know, creates a little bit of negative space up there, but also closes that negative space there, but you still got some negative space. And yeah, not too bad. Pretty damn good. In case you're wondering why my finger's white, I've got a wart, so I'm putting some acid on, trying to get rid of the wart. Not too pretty, huh? Oh, I should show you kind of what it started like. So imagine this tree here just being one trunk, not three trunks. You just went with one trunk. That's probably sort of what it started like. Smaller than that one. That one's a bigger one. Bigger than that one it was. It's probably about that size, but with a more tapered trunk, single trunk. But the base was probably like that. And over the years, it's got fatter and bigger. Look at this one here. This is an octopus that me and Laurie collected a few years ago. I've got to do some trimming on that one, select some branches. I've let too many branches grow on it, so as a result, there's a lot of thin ones. I need to go in and select the ones I want to keep, so that the ones that I want to keep get a bit thicker, because they're not thick enough and we're wasting growth pretty much. But you can see where I have only got one branch, it's a lot thicker. So I've been a little bit slack, but it'll get there. It's not going anywhere, it's too heavy to lift. So that one there is even heavier and bigger than the other one. Anyway, beautiful. No worries. Cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to, it does help out a bit. But if you don't, that's fine. I watch quite a few channels where I've been too lazy to subscribe to, so it's all good. No worries. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the time you took to watch it. And I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Cheers.